One of the most eagerly anticipated events in any biker's calendar, the annual Brighton burnup, starts here in North London at the legendary Ace Cafe. Tens of thousands of riders from all over Britain and Europe have turned up for a trip to the seaside. Most are well behaved, but as usual, there's always a few who are keen to spin the wheel of fortune. It's a fun day out for all, bar the traffic cops. For them, the massive event is nothing but a massive headache.
Probably from 7 o'clock in the morning till 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, there's just a constant stream of motorcycles southbound on the M23, A23. It causes a hell of a lot of chaos because a lot of them have got no regard for anyone else on the road. They just want to get to Brighton. They don't care who's in the way. They're just going to get to Brighton as fast as they can.
The A24 isn't a racetrack.
Lights are green.
But there are always some who think it is.
Yeah, well, the lead bike's doing a horrendous wheelie, and the second one, all doing wheelies up the road. Yeah, all 6 of these bikes are doing wheelies up the road. One is still doing a wheelie, still on the back wheel, and he's down.
When a motorcyclist rides recklessly, ignoring the law, it often takes one to catch one. This camera footage is from a special unmarked video bike the cops are using to ride amongst the bad bikers without their knowledge. The undercover riders reporting directly to conventional bike cops waiting to join the fray.
Yeah, wheelies again, all standing on the pegs doing wheelies in the 60, doing about 73 in the 60. He's still on the back wheel, that's about 300 yards on the back wheel.
The reason we use an unmarked bike, it fits in with everyone else. If a rider is riding dangerously, we can produce solid evidence in the form of a DVD that can be shown to the courts, and effectively there can be no arguments.
Yeah, he's now wheel spinning, he's got the front brake on and he's spinning the back tyre out. This is the dangerous driving, he's all over the road, he's leaving black lines everywhere.
The back end is snaking around where the front brake is being held and the back wheel is trying to overtake the front wheel. I mean, that is dangerous. He's got very limited control on that bike.
These bikers don't ever think they'll get caught, but just to be sure, one of them's got another trick.
It's lane 1, it's the second bike back, it's a black bike, he's got no number plate on it.
A trick registration plate.
He's now about 3 or 4 back, he's just flipped his plate down, he's got a flip-up plate on it. See if I can get in the index. Tango 921.
Simply to have no number plate on your bike, that's an offence in itself. But to have something like that, you're effectively perverting the course of justice, which is a crime.
The marked police bikes have now caught up.
The black one directly behind the caravan, just passing it now.
The trick now for the traffic cops is to take the dangerous biker by surprise and to make sure there's no escape by closing off the whole road.
Is anybody else coming south? Because the rest of this lot are just going to go, and if Derek stops this lot, he's going to need a hand. There's about 10 of them here. We've got full lane closure on at the A24.
Because they were in such a large group, we had to stop them all at once. At that time, the video on the recording, it was very difficult to identify exactly who had done what. So on that basis, the whole group, they were all pulled in.
As it stands at the moment, the evidential tape has been reviewed. Your riding as a group is all falls way below the standard expected on the roads, and it falls within the realms of dangerous.
They're riding these machines with no regard to anyone else on the road. You have the family on the day's outing in the car. You've got dads, mums, children in the back. And then they're suddenly confronted by a motorcyclist coming towards them on the back wheel, and he has no control over his machine. If people are going to ride like that in Sussex, then they must be aware of the consequences.
And the consequences are that they're going to get their bikes confiscated. The whole group is being taken into custody until the cops decide who's going to be charged with what.
It appears the rider's fitted some sort of device under here, which means that obviously if he wants to, he can press a button on his handlebars and his number plate will flip up. So therefore it's now unreadable. and then obviously if he then gets stopped, he just flips it back down and he's got a number plate that's readable. So speed cameras, being followed by police, etc. You can just see there's some sort of fitment here. And I think the officers who originally saw him with the number plate up, and it's now obviously down. So
he'd gone out there with the intention, flipping up his number plate, riding like that, flipping up his number plate so he couldn't be traced. But unfortunately, because of the way we do things now, he was stopped.
the road side of it, yeah?
It's just a bit.
Got it.
In Sussex, bike riders make up only 4% of road users. Yet, disproportionately, they account for more than a quarter of all the road deaths in the county. By the time the burn-up starts to hit Brighton, the numbers have swollen even more. All along Madeira Drive, proud bike riders are showing off their gleaming motorcycles and taking in the fresh sea and petrol-filled air. Traffic cops PC Jason Daly and PC Dane Goddard are here too, showing off their brightly coloured BMW and looking out for trouble.
You're sort of like geared up, ready for the mass stream of motorcycles to come in. And I mean, some of them are absolutely good as gold, you know, and they're there as pure enthusiasts to come and enjoy the day. And you get some that do the ride and then they just want to be a bit silly.
It hasn't taken long for PC Goddard to spot someone who's not quite right in the head.
Just looked across and saw this motorbike with the rider with a helmet on and the pillion passenger sitting on the back with her blonde hair, just floating about in the wind.
She's not got a helmet on that bike. Passengers.
I had to do a double take, really, because it's something you just don't see.
Where is she, though? Where is she? Where is she? Where is she? Let me keep an eye on her. She's there. She's there.
Sure enough, the passenger is hatless.
Hello there. You turn your bike off. Good man. Okay. Turn right on the next street and we'll have a chat with you about why your passenger isn't wearing a helmet. Okay. Yeah? I've never seen that before. Up to you.
Put him in. What is it?
AE55 NVA. Unbelievable.
I used to ride a motorbike, and the amount of accidents we see with motorcyclists, you know, and I dealt with one last year. His helmet had a little bit of damage to it, but other than that, no damage whatsoever. His head, no injuries. So, you know, they're absolutely worth their weight in gold.
The reason we're stopping you today is you're carrying a pillion passenger and she's obviously not wearing a helmet. Yeah? Is there any reason why you're not wearing a helmet?
It's in here. We were just going to park here and walk.
Yeah.
And she just didn't want to put it on for the short time.
And
Okay.
I mean, we should know, but we didn't know it was.
What is the law?
They were on holiday from America, come from Pennsylvania, and they'd come down to Brighton for the day.
Made a mistake.
Have you got your driving licence with you, please?
Yes.
How long have you been in the country?
About 3 weeks.
The man's licence is okay, but now there's a problem with the bike's tax.
I checked the tax disc because it was in a holder, but it just didn't look right. It looked as though the dye had run on it, and so I managed to unclip it and take it out. You could see it was an actual photocopy of the tax disc, a proper laser colour copy, which I thought, oh goodness, you know, has someone stolen a tax disc, or is there a fraudulent loose of a tax disc?
The motorcycle's been rented.
I rung the actual hire shop and spoke to them, and it had been legitimately hired.
We got that stopped. The rider was carrying a passenger without a helmet.
And they said, no, as a matter of course, they keep all the tax discs in their office and photocopy them to put them on the road.
It's not ideal to have a photocopied tax disc, and you could get prosecuted for it. I know that they get stolen, they're easy to steal, but the offence is failing to display a tax disc. So if you display a fake one, you're not actually displaying a valid tax disc.
We contacted DVLA, and they said that the vehicle was taxed and was allowed to be on the road. It's just that their company policy is they put a photocopied tax disc in the holder just because of the amount of people that use it, where it gets left, and the high theft rate of tax discs.
It's so weird because There's states in the U.S. that do require helmets, but Pennsylvania is one that doesn't.
The female just hadn't put a helmet on because in America, where she grows up, you don't have to wear a helmet if you don't want to.
Well, it's sunny over there, isn't it? Pennsylvania, you can get a nice tan while you're riding your bike. Can't down in Brighton, can you?
But I would imagine it'd be no different if you got hit by a car or you had an accident, you're coming off. And I know personally, if I was in that country and in that state, I would have a helmet on.
OK, Dustin, there's your passport and driving licence back. What happened is, in the next 3 months, you'll receive some notification through to an address. So whereabouts are you staying in the UK?
So we reported the rider for carrying a pillion on the back with no helmet.
Well, you've come down the back of that all the way from London?
It's a long trip. There is a helmet in there. I wore it all the way here.
Oh, cool, Benny. I was going to say, I can't believe that.
The only time in this trip I did it was for the 2 minutes, like from the hotel to here.
2 minutes is enough to kill him, I'm afraid.
Right, there you go.
Thank you.
I couldn't understand why she wasn't wearing it at all, I really couldn't.
She's got yeehaw boots on.
Pennsylvania, is that the one who go, oh? Was that Transylvania?
I think that's Transylvania.
They were lovely boots. Absolutely lovely cowboy boots. If I could afford a pair, I'd get a pair for myself and do a couple of bits of line dancing.
Not to be confused with bloodthirsty vampires, the now properly dressed Pennsylvanians are free to go. A lot of foreign visitors to Britain arrive along the south coast. The ferry port of Newhaven, 10 miles away, is one of the main gateways with the continent. It's particularly popular with freight traffic due to its proximity to London. Lorries using the A26 are often the target of special operations involving the traffic cops. Today, in their unmarked Golf, PC's Chris Story and Richard Trundle are being called upon to sort out an all too common occurrence.
In conjunction with VOSA today, checking heavy goods vehicles that are coming from Newhaven Port. And whilst one of them has been checked, we've just found what's believed to be an illegal immigrant hiding under one of the axles. So we're just going down there now to see if there's anybody else inside or on the vehicle anywhere.
It's a joint operation with the Government Vehicle Agency, VOSA, where lorries are pulled off the main highway to a holding area where they can be inspected for roadworthiness and their loads searched.
Hotel Tango 281. Now, could you assign us to the Beddingham illegal immigrant job, please, and show us at scene?
A lorry has picked up an unwanted hitchhiker. Scarily, examiners found him strapped by his wrists to the underneath of the vehicle.
The consequences of what might have happened just doesn't bear thinking about. If the lorry's doing 60 mile an hour up the motorway and then all of a sudden the straps break and he falls out from the back of the truck, he could then end up under the back wheels of that lorry and anything else that's following behind. So it just doesn't bear thinking about.
Yeah, he was under the back axle as VOSA were doing their checks.
Nice.
But I want to make sure there's no more in there, if possible.
The man is just one of many getting into the country this way, proving it isn't difficult as long as you're prepared to play Russian roulette with your own life.
It's not uncommon. It's certainly not the first time I've found them under there. Obviously they're desperate, they want to get in. So, but yeah, I think it was the first time my VOSA colleague had been caught out like that.
We need to open up the back driver. Open? Yeah.
The truck has come up from Portugal, and its driver seems as surprised as anybody by the hidden cargo. However, sometimes drivers do take payments to carry illegal passengers. So the question now is, has he got any more on board?
Is it been sealed?
Has it sealed?
Yeah. And if it's still sealed, that's good.
I want to inscribe in semi-Arabic, okay?
Right. Basically, they seal the trucks up to make sure that nobody can sneak into the back of the vehicles and get in that way. If the seal's still intact, it's normally a pretty good sign that nobody's got in there, but it can still happen.
If he is caught with any illegals in the back, he could be fined £2,000 per person.
Go on, Rich, up you go. Well done.
Thanks. I do feel for them that they're that prepared to put their life at risk to get to this country, but at the end of the day, procedures have to be followed and they have to be they have to go through the correct channels. No, stacked up to the ceiling.
The illegal that we've arrested, he'll come with us to custody. Hopefully immigration will deal with him, you'd like to think. I think we'll have to speak to the driver. Normally in this case it's the driver comes with us as well. Whether he knows anything about it or not is to be seen.
Underneath the truck, just how precarious the illegal immigrants' ride was can clearly be seen.
You see the axle stub that goes between, or the actual axle of the vehicle. They basically sit on top of that, and then they strap their hands to the actual ladder chassis or whatever, just to stop them from basically falling off. And then they basically sit on that while this is travelling along at speeds of about 60 mile an hour. But yeah, very dangerous. But that's where he was.
And incredibly, he was there, clinging on for dear life, for 3 days.
Oh, 3 days underneath.
Really?
That's what it says.
Before he reaches his journey's end, the man from Iran will be making a detour to the local Nick.
Not allowed to be here, I don't think. Not underneath a lorry. Okay, I will take you to a police station, so you are under arrest. Okay, explain to you in your language when we get there. Okay, and I'll caution you when we get there, so you understand why you're here. Okay, all right.
We'll give them the paperwork from immigration at the police station and then take them to the train station, but then normally they don't get off at the other end, so then they just disappear. I'm just glad he didn't fall off, basically.
Truck drivers are ultimately responsible for whatever is in, on, or even under their vehicles. But on this occasion, common sense has prevailed, and the trucker's going to be allowed to carry on his journey. It's just gone midday, and still the motorbikes are streaming down the A23 on their way to Brighton. Only now some of them are getting a little worried they're going to miss the party.
There's two bikes together. One was travelling in excess of 100 mile an hour. And not only was he doing 100 mile an hour, or in excess, he was in and out of the traffic.
Once again, the Sussex Stig is on their tail, video running.
Punch back up again now. There's two in particular I'm looking for, which is the Romanian registered one. Both undertaking, overtaking, etc.
We were sitting down on various stages on the 23 as a motorcycle team.
We want them to the same lay-by? Yeah, the second one. We want to try and get them both together, and we'll put them both for summons at the same time. Yeah?
The two speeding bikes are heading right towards where the bike cops are lying in wait.
Just going past the on-slip. I see you up there, two bikes on the left on the on-slip.
They've ridden straight into the bobby trap.
One's right in front of me, and the one directly in front of him, which is the Romanian plate.
You put together excess of 100 mile an hour along with filtering in and out of lanes of traffic that in itself is moving at 50 mile an hour. It's a recipe for disaster, really.
PC Craker's going to have a little word.
Both vehicles were two up, they had passengers, billion passengers, and they're still riding like they do, really, really dangerously.
Have you got any identification on you? Is this your friend? Are you together?
Yeah.
Yeah?
3 of the bikers are London residents. The other says he's from Romania. Transylvania, perhaps?
If he's got ID on him, I can find out who he is straight away, where he's from, his address, whether he's come to notice of the police before, if he's in legal possession of his motorcycle.
This morning, you've come down the A23, OK? We've got a huge motorcycle influx today to Brighton for this big event that's down there. You two gentlemen have just been followed over a distance of excess speed, in excess of 100 miles per hour, OK? And you've been seen undertaking and filtering at excess speed.
Yeah, but there were around like 20 bikes around me. Why did you stop just me and him?
Because the vehicle that was following you captured your number plates and you two were the main offenders, okay, and it's all captured on hard drive. Do you understand me?
For about 10 miles there were around 20 bikes around us.
I'm sure there were. But at the end of the day, your 2 bikes have been captured. As a result of that, you're both going to be reported for consideration of the question of prosecuting you for careless driving, okay, and excess speed. Do you understand that?
But PC Craker's got a problem. He can't give a ticket to the Romanian without an address.
Are you here permanently?
No.
When are you going back?
Next week.
Next week? And are you coming back to England then?
I don't know.
What do you do for a living?
Working.
Where?
Driver.
Whereabouts?
In Romania.
In Romania?
Countries.
Okay.
Something's not quite adding up.
He's got the nicest bike out of the three of them, which is worth about 11 grand. Carbon fibre helmet, which I know for a fact is about 600 or 700 quid. You just try and put two and two together, don't you? And it doesn't compute, really. It's just his answers to the questions, it just wasn't right.
Have you got anything with your name and address on it?
Sorry?
Have you got anything at all with your address on it? Your address in Romania?
Yeah.
This is you?
Yeah.
Transylvania?
Yeah.
Look at your teeth. Transylvania? No?
No.
I don't matter, it's all right. Okay, mate, no problem.
So yeah, he had two long sharp teeth, he did, at the front.
Yes.
What's your first name? Is it Andre?
Yeah.
Is it yourself?
Yeah.
Right, can I just establish that you don't live in this country permanently?
No.
Okay. Because...
I come from Brighton.
Yeah?
I've been last year.
Right.
It's nice.
You come across from Romania just to come to Brighton today?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you are a tourist and you're over here for a couple of weeks, then there's no way I can issue a ticket, because you're not going to pay it, are you? You're going to get back on a ferry and disappear.
Right, do you want to come this way now, mate?
Instead, he's going to be arrested.
Whether he's done it before, I honestly couldn't tell you. But he thought he was going to get away with it.
While the speeding biker gets taken to the police station for questioning about his address, there's time to check up on some more riders who think they can get away with it. This one, in PC Craker's sights, is another without a registration plate. If it's another trick, then he's the one who's going to be had.
The fact that he had no number plate on a particular day like that and such a nice bike, then yes, we were going to stop him no matter what happened. But...
Where's your number plate?
In M25.
M25?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you know where it went?
I don't know exactly.
So when did you last see your number plate on your bike?
Maybe 20 minutes ago.
Right. So you stopped 20 minutes ago?
Yeah, we stopped what we can find on the M25.
Right. So you stopped at the side of the road and realised you didn't have a plate?
Yeah, just my mate stopped me and they say we lost number plate. It's like that broken bracket.
Right.
It's not a flip-up plate, it's just gone missing in action.
Whereabouts you from?
Poland.
Okay, well you've come here from Poland today just for this event?
No.
Right, so whereabouts you from then?
Basingstoke.
Basingstoke?
Yeah.
Okay, and you've ridden from Basingstoke this morning?
Yeah.
Okay.
The man's got all the proper documents, including the bike's registration logbook he'll need to get another number plate. Except it's in Polish, which is going to make things a little difficult.
Okay. Right, whereabouts was the bracket?
Yeah.
It actually snapped off and there was no road dirt on it, basically. I'm sure he was not telling me porkies.
The thing is, you can't continue riding on the road with no number plate on your vehicle.
Yeah, that's why we go very slow and I in the middle. So.
Right. It's not going to happen. You're not going any further now, okay? Where are you going to get a number plate from today?
In Brighton.
Right, whereabouts in Brighton?
I don't know which. I know where is this shop, but I don't know of
okay.
road.
How many of your friends are you with?
It's all of them. 5.
All of them. Right. Can I suggest that you dispatch one of them to go and get you a number plate now?
Yeah.
Because your bike isn't going to move from here until such time that it's road legal.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So is that fair?
Yeah, it's very fair.
All right. I'm not here to persecute you. All right.
Basically, we established who he was. He was a well-heeled businessman from Poland. And he was riding the bike legitimately.
We need a marker, we put the number plates on his back.
You need?
The marker, permanent marker.
No, it's got to be affixed to the bike, old son. He's not getting prosecuted for it, all right? Yeah. Genuine thing has happened, but I can't allow him to continue. Yeah. So if you was a really, really good Polish mate, you jump on your bike and go and have him one made. Because he's going to sit here until such time he's got one.
Oh my lord.
All right. There's a Halfords in Brighton, and they do it for you straight away.
You know what the thing with the Halfords is, I try to make one and they the guy which sell the number plates wasn't sure about the logbook, and he said, I don't know, I can make you because I don't know this logbook and stuff like that. That's the problem.
We wanted him to get a new number plate, and he can't get one in this country because of our brilliant laws. He's got to produce his V5, his registration document, which he had, but it was Polish. So I simply wrote a statement to the, I think it was Halfords or Bikes of Brighton, one of the two, to say that if you've got any issues with it, ring me and we'll sanction it.
It's tough luck for the Pole who lost his number plate. While his mates whiz on down to Brighton, he's been left to wait for them to return with a new one. At the police station in Brighton, the Romanian biker is in for a check.
Right, step this way, brother.
A reality check.
As we went into custody, I think it suddenly dawned on him, as that big metal door slammed behind him, that he wasn't going anywhere until the next morning when we were going to go to court.
And he's decided to come clean.
I've been lying to you. I'm here permanent.
Trouble is, you've already said it.
He coughed that he was in actual fact a London resident, and he worked here as a security guard, and he was dead worried.
Yes.
Okay, so I just want to get their advice to see what they want to do about this, all right?
The reason he had it registered in Romania, I would imagine, is because he rides like he rides.
With a little bit of help from his friends, the biker stuck in the lay-by will be able to dip his toes in the sea today after all.
I'm retired.
They've returned with a brand new number plate.
It was fixed to the rear of the motorcycle and he went home. If anyone should wish to find out what that bike was or who it belonged to, it was on the back seat. So, as far as I was concerned, it was okay.
Back on the A27, the main route out of Newhaven, more heavy goods vehicles are making their way up from the port. The police are often the first organisation illegal immigrants come into contact with. The next is supposed to be the Immigration Service in Croydon.
Generally what they do is say, right, OK, well, give us your details, here's a rail warrant, make your own way to the immigration centre. And funnily enough, they never show up.
Being caught by the cops doesn't mean being kicked straight out of the country.
We seem to go through sort of stages of it where we'll have loads and loads and loads in a short period of time, and then we'll go months and months without getting any. It's not a huge problem, but we do seem to get it because we're a coastal sort of area. We do tend to get it quite a lot more than certain other forces.
It's another lorry clinger. This time, though, the man was spotted hanging out while the truck was on the move.
Yeah, did you just see his leg sticking out in? Yeah, we were travelling out that way. We were going to go and get some food, and we just thought we'd go up towards Lewis, and I just saw a leg hanging down in the road. And I thought, oh, hang on. So we got it back round, got it into here, and I looked straight under the rear axle, and there he is, sitting on top of the axle.
Where's this lorry from?
They're all from Portugal.
They're all Portuguese, are they? Right.
Yeah. They're not. This chap's going to London from Iran. The other one was
Birmingham, he wanted to go to, didn't he?
No.
Have you patted him down yet?
No, not yet.
Cool, okay, mate.
Do you speak English or?
How's your English? Do you speak English at all? Very small, yeah? Okay. I'll just get you to jump out for me. Okay, keep your hands in front of you. Roger. Move just slightly away.
This way,
that's lovely. Okay, arms like that.
Once they've arrived in this country, that's mission accomplished for them. They've made it in here, and they know that they know the procedures once they get here and what will happen to them.
Right.
We arrest them, take them to the custody centre, and then the immigration people come and take over.
Is that you? Yeah? Okay, Iraq.
It seems to be so easy to be able to get into this country, clearly. You know, in one day we've caught 2, and that's just, you know, a tiny little portion of it, I'm sure.
He's got an obligation to quit France.
The piece of paper is the man's get-out clause. Get out of France.
They stopped him and wouldn't give him any food or water.
Right.
And he was told to get out.
Okay. So immigration's going to have to have a look at this one as well, then.
Badakan, okay, because you've come into the country illegally, okay, at this time I'm going to arrest you on suspicion of entering the country illegally, okay. I have to caution you, do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you fail to mention when questioned something you later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. Probably doesn't mean a lot to you, but basically anything you say from this point on can be used as evidence, okay. So we need to go to get you booked in at Eastbourne custody, and then the immigration people will come and speak to you, okay. Yeah, travelling up there about 60 mile an hour, saw the lorry, saw a foot hanging underneath. We've gone round, stopped it, got it in here, and obviously he's sitting on top of the axle, holding on. He wasn't strapped in, this one, he was literally holding on with his hand, so could have fallen off at any time, so that's why we obviously deal with it the way we can. So he'll be off to immigration as well. So that's two lives saved today.
I would imagine the problem's bigger than we actually know it to be, but it's just a case of we just haven't got the manpower to stop every single truck and check in underneath every single one.
If they were to have the proper checks at the ports and the government spent the money on it, you wouldn't have half the problems with illegals coming in, because eventually the word will filter back that every single lorry gets checked, you know, from transit upwards, and that you ain't got a chance in hell of coming in.
Now he is in, Badakan's been brought to the police station in Eastbourne, where his identity, fingerprints and DNA are being logged into the police national computer for future reference. Providing he doesn't go missing between here and Croydon, he'll be allowed to stay in the country legally until immigration eventually decide what to do with him. Last year, nearly 30,000 attempts to get into Britain across the Channel illegally were discovered. No one knows how many weren't discovered. No sooner have the Brighton burn-up bikers got out their buckets and spades and sampled the rock, they're back on their motorcycles and on their way home again. Underneath the bridge here was the scene of a tragic incident during the same event a couple of years ago.
You'll see behind me some of the supporters of this event, although this is probably their 6th or 7th year they come here. Exactly 2 years ago today, they were standing there waving at the motorcyclists as they do. The motorcyclist coming down, there was a young foreign lady, although she lived in this country. She was going down there, she was only doing about 30 mile an hour because the traffic started backing up from Brighton. And she was waving at these people on the bridge and unfortunately rode straight into the back of slow-moving or stationary traffic behind her and unfortunately died instantly, which was classed obviously as a fatal road traffic accident.
We went up to explain to them what had happened 2 years previous, hopefully to avoid an accident occurring again. And we were just standing there talking to the people who were facing the traffic. And lo and behold,
whoa, whoa!
We had a 3-vehicle pilot.
Airbags deployed, do you want to call up? Get down there, I'll call up.
It's déjà vu all over again.
Would have been due to a momentary lack of concentration by the lead driver or the drivers behind.
Whatever the cause, it looks as if there are no serious injuries this time, but the collision is going to cause havoc with the traffic.
It was literally 2 lanes of traffic, bumper to bumper. And for some unknown reason, the van driver slowed, which he's entitled to do. Nobody said he's got to keep a continuous speed, and unfortunately the 2 vehicles behind didn't.
PC Craker needs to get down onto the carriageway fast.
Vehicles up to and including 10 years now are designed for the boot and the bonnet to crumple up and look really, really nasty. But that was no more than, what, 20, 25 mile an hour, I wouldn't imagine.
The woman was travelling alone with her dog and is a little distressed.
She's been driving 4 or 5 years, first time she'd ever had any reason to be in a situation like that. First time she'd had an impact. I think what frightened her more than anything was Fido, her pet woofer, was sitting in the back, unsecured, and the next thing she knew, he was wrapped around her shoulders. So I think that shook her up more than anything. If you get a sort of how heavy's a dog like that, freestone, you get that wrapped around your neck all of a sudden. It's quite frightening, I think.
Don't worry, just try and relax.
She'd been working up to that moment to drive down there to see her boyfriend in Brighton all her life. That was her maiden voyage. She was proud as punch, and all of a sudden her world ended. There was her pride and joy, and it was just in a heap on the floor.
So we're just getting an ambulance to come deal with her, and then we can clear the road. That's obviously one of our priorities. Once we've dealt with her as a casualty, Just get right clear, because we've got a lot of traffic coming up from Brighton, so the last thing we want is this.
The driver caught in the middle is only suffering a slight pain in the neck.
Do you have your belt on?
Yeah.
And you managed to avoid the car in front, didn't you?
I did.
Good man.
I actually did stop before she hit me, I think.
No, I saw the vehicle in front of you.
Yeah.
Stopped. You saw it to avoid that.
Just ran the
No, there was one in front of that as well. He avoided that. You avoided him. And unfortunately, we were standing up there, and that's probably what the vehicle in front of him was looking at.
We got him to see the ambulance, but because he was wearing his seat restraint, his seat belt, he just said that we had a query sternum problem, but I think it was just a bit of bruising. The lady's vehicle was unfortunately an insurance write-off. She was so shaken up and breathless. We took her and her dog to the Royal Sussex County Hospital, where she was released a short while later into the custody of her boyfriend, I believe. But all the other vehicles drove off.
Life is beginning to get back to normal in Brighton. Most of the 30,000 bikers that flocked here during the day have ridden off into the sunset. For traffic cop PC Goddard, that means a return to more familiar customers, people in cars pushing their luck, like those ahead of him.
I'm sure I saw one of the passengers in the back moving around. I just assumed that the person wasn't restrained in, and it was a young child, so I was just going to speak to the driver and say she needs to be restrained, or the person needs to be restrained, you know. So I just pulled this car over and had a chat with the lady.
Straight away,
is that your car?
It's not her car.
No, that's my sister's.
It's your sister's, is it?
Yeah.
Have you got a licence?
I left it at home, yeah.
You have?
Yeah.
Okay, and what's your name?
My name?
And what's your name?
My name is Precious.
Do you want to come this way? It's all right, I'm not going nowhere, I'm just going to take your mum to the car.
Hold on.
Just
It's all right, it's okay.
Okay, I'm just going to take your mum to the car. If you want to go to the near side seat, and I'll run some details.
Precious has a sister called Primrose.
It's owned by your sister Primrose, is it?
Yeah, that's my twin sister, yeah.
Okay, lovely. What licence have you got?
I've got a provisional.
Have you, so why are you driving it?
I was picking her kids, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, because she's not well, so
Okay.
she asked me to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, what's your surname? She said her name was Precious, and she had a sister called Primrose, twin sisters. So Primrose owns the car, you're Precious.
Yes.
Are you insured on that vehicle?
I don't know, to be honest. I don't know yet.
Okay. Unfortunately, you're driving a vehicle as a provisional licence holder, which you can't do.
Right.
All right? Yeah, sure. Also, you're not shown on the vehicle's insurance, so you're not insured to drive that vehicle either.
Primrose is not well.
Okay.
And the husband, you know, they're in a terrible state right now.
Okay.
You know, they've got these papers and stuff like that. So, you know, nobody would pick up the kids. So
Okay.
I just took the keys and said, let me go and
So
pick up the kids.
Does she know you've got the car?
No, that's why they phoned me, you know, to find out where I am.
Right, so she doesn't know you've got a car. I've got to speak to her then.
Sure.
Because technically you could have stolen her car.
Okay, I can.
Should we go back and have a chat?
Yeah, the one who's at
Yeah,
home
okay,
now.
let's
Yeah,
go
you
back
can
and have a
speak
little
to
chat.
your husband.
Precious seems to have taken the car without her sister Primrose's knowledge, and she's got her children in the back as well.
Let's go and have a little chat. I need to speak to Primrose. There's just something about it, and you just think, no matter what you do, it niggles. Can you ring? Is it your mum? Can you ring your mum for me?
Give me the phone. I need to ring Primrose.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hello.
I'm just begging you.
Hello. Well,
You can-
let's
you can
speak
give
to
me a
Primrose.
ticket, you know,
Let's
I
speak to
don't
Primrose. So she spoke in Zimbabwean to the person on the end of the phone.
Hello. Yeah, I'm gonna take a problem.
But Precious could be getting her story straight about having permission to use the car.
Precious.
Right.
She doesn't want to be
Hello?
accused of stealing it.
Hello, is that Primrose? Hello there, it's PC Goddard from the Sussex Traffic Police. Hello, I've just stopped your vehicle, your Astra, and it's driven by your sister. Is it Precious? Now, she said that she's saying she took the keys and has driven it. Have you given her permission to take your car? Right, okay. I'm going to be seizing the vehicle because she is not insured to drive the vehicle.
She has got permission from Primrose to have the car, but it's going anyway.
And she has got only a provisional licence, which means she needs to be supervised until she's passed the test. And she put her children at risk and other members of the public at risk, and there's no way I'm letting her drive off. You say your name's Precious? I can only get details for Primrose.
Yeah, because I just came.
Sorry?
I was in office.
OK. You haven't even got a driving licence, have you?
No, I just applied for my provision.
Just applied for it? Have you got any form of identification on you?
No.
So how do I know who you are?
PC Goddard is making precious little headway and is now wondering if the woman should even be in the country.
Now we ring immigration and say, when does this person come in? And they'll tell you exactly the time that they come in, how many times they've been in, how many times they've gone out, and how long since the first time they've come in. So have you got any form of identification that ties you to this, to Primrose or anything? Because I can't get any details up for you. You could be anyone.
No, I'm not anyone. I swear to God, I'm not anyone. That's the truth.
OK. It just all smelt fishy. It just didn't seem right at all.
The initial intention was to give him a toot, get his attention, turf him off the bike and make him walk home and point out the dangers to him, but unfortunately we didn't get the opportunity because he's just totally ignored us.
I want a bike, it's Saturday night.
Having lights at night is a requirement of the Highway Code, while riding a bike on the pavement has been illegal since the law was enacted in 1835.
Okay. Saturday night, and this is what you do. I'm a cyclist.
Listen, just listen. As soon as someone says to you, go away, I'm not going to speak to you, you know straight away there is going to be a problem.
We've got every right to stop you because you're committing a road traffic offence.
Do something useful.
You've got no rear reflector, you've got no lights on your bike, you've been stopped.
Saturday night in Brighton.
You're also gone for a red light and you're also on the pavement.
So on the red light, I went through it as it went green.
No,
I went
that's
because I don't have lights. I cycled here because I don't have a light.
You've got 3 offences. 3 offences. Let's discount your red light, yeah?
So what do you want to do?
And failing to stop for a police officer when required to do so. 4 offences.
Right.
Shall we start again?
Well, what do you want to do about it?
No, should we start again?
No, I'm asking you what do you want to do about it?
Put it before the court if you've got that attitude that you've got total disregard for the police.
So, what you're actually accusing me of is not offences but disregard for the police. That is not an offence, mate.
Forget that.
No, that's what you
offences.
just said. It's not an offence to have disregard for the police.
Oh, people talk themselves into trouble all the time.
We're not going to argue about that. The argument about whatever it is, about you committing road traffic offences and not stopping when required to do so. Why didn't you stop? No, why didn't you stop?
I'm cycling home.
What makes you different from any other person using the road?
What makes you so underemployed? You have to harass me because I'm on a bike.
Right.
You don't get very often a pedal cyclist failing to stop for a marked police vehicle, in particular a traffic car.
Examine your actions, mate.
Yeah.
What are you doing? All right, nick me then. It's going to make you feel good, is it?
Not really.
No back light, cycling to pavement.
Yeah, and then you're on the road when you went through the junction on a red light in dark clothing.
You're having a laugh, mate. You know you're
and you're drunk as well.
No, I'm not drunk.
You are?
Why am I drunk? Because I'm arguing.
No, because you're not reasonable, are you? You're not talking to me normally.
You're defining reasonable because I'm not agreeing with you. Doesn't make me drunk. I don't agree with you.
You absolutely stink of it.
We are not going to waste our time, okay, in stopping people for no reason. That's something we don't do.
That's my real offence, isn't it? Because I'm not giving you respect. That's what you don't like.
Forget the respect. That's immaterial.
That's not. That's your principal concern. That's what you're really on. I'm not giving you respect.
My concern is you are drunk in charge of a pedal cycle in dark clothing, riding through a red traffic light with no lights on your bike. I'm not drunk in charge of a
pedal cycle. I didn't go through a red light.
You're not sober.
And if people up the ante straight away, there's no way you can be nice and talk to them on a low level and try and let them off with a warning because it's just not productive.
The man was going to get a slap on the wrist, but now it seems he's talked himself into trouble.
You will be reported for going through a red traffic light, cycling with no lights on your bike, failing to stop for police. Okay, we forget the drunk in charge, shall we? I'm not going to argue about it. Okay, you'll be reported for those offences and receive a summons, okay? Or we could deal with it by way of a fixed penalty ticket at the roadside, which will save you going to the court.
No.
What's that?
I said no. I'm not having a fixed penalty ticket.
You want to go to court, do you?
Yeah. No,
Okay. Fair enough.
Okay, what's your full name? What's your full name?
Arrest me. On what ground? No, seriously.
You will be arrested.
I'm going to walk away from here unless you tell me what you're going to arrest me
You are
for.
required to give your name and address so we can serve a second. You are,
yes, you
because
are.
you've committed road traffic offence.
No, I don't agree I have.
Whether you agree or not, you are required to do so. Okay? If you fail to give us those addresses, you will be arrested.
I find it fascinating that people, especially of mature years, of behave in the way they do.
Back across town, PC Goddard is still struggling to keep his patience with Precious.
So how can we tell you differently?
We are identical.
You're identical.
Yes.
Funny that. You've got her bag and yet she's at home, and I'm starting to think that, you know, you might actually be Primrose, and that's what I'm trying to sort out.
No, I'm not. I just came in, you know. I just came in. I'm not Primrose. You can ask your husband. He's at home as well.
I mean, you could tell me that's your twin sister, but for all I know, that could be you. Do you want to get me Primrose's number?
Hold on.
Who's that?
That's her.
That's her. That's unusual. Why have you got a picture of her on your phone then?
Oh, she's my niece.
So is this one, isn't she?
No, that's not her. That's the little one.
Oh,
the
right.
baby, yeah.
So she's your niece as well?
Yeah, they are both nieces, yeah. I was at school.
She was tripping me every time I was asking her a question. She was coming up with a good, plausible answer.
Goddard's going to see if Precious's brother-in-law has got any good, plausible answers to solve who is really who.
Precious and Primrose, and both with the same date of birth, both identical sisters. At times I felt as I was tying myself up in knots trying to find out, because I thought, is she actually telling the truth? And I'm just digging for no reason. Hello there, this is PC Goddard from Sussex Traffic Police. Who am I speaking to at this present time? Who? Griffin. Okay. Griffin, is Primrose there? No. Where is Primrose? Oh, right. Has Primrose got a sister? And what's her sister's name? Precious. What are they? How different are they? He said that Precious was in Zimbabwe and there's a 2-year gap between them. They're not actually twins. Precious drives, does she? How long has Precious lived in this country? A long time. Precious has lived here a long time, has she?
Because he doesn't know anything, that's right. I've been here for 6 months now.
That was like peeling an orange. You peel away one layer, and then you peel away another one, and then she'd come out with an answer for that one, so you have to try and negate that one. And until I had so many different layers, and I just thought, I've had enough now. Right, how are you spelling your first name?
P-R-I.
Yep.
So P-R-I, sorry.
P-R?
P-R-I. So I'm thinking of Primrose, so P-R-I.
Yep.
C-I.
Yep.
O-U-S.
It's funny how you nearly spelt it like Primrose.
No, it's like I was talking to...
Yeah, I know. That was it. Alarm bells went. You know, she's spelling her own name and then realised that she's actually dropped a clanger. The daughter, when she realised that Mum had dropped a clanger, walked away and turned her face away as though she was laughing. And I saw her out the corner of my eye just disappear quickly over my right shoulder, and I just sort of think, that's not right. Right, tomorrow I'm going to come round to your address and I want to see you both. If I don't, then you're going to be prosecuted for another offence of obstructing police. Do you understand that? And you'll be arrested for that and dealt with. All right? So do you understand that? So if you want to tell the truth, then tell it now. Because I still think you're Primrose. And if I don't see someone that matches your description tomorrow, we'll go to custody.
The threat of being arrested is finally bringing out the truth.
So what's your name? What's your name?
Are you going to forgive me if I tell you?
If you tell me the truth, we'll deal with it the same way I would deal with it any other way, which will be at the roadside and you can go home. But if you're going to muck me about, I'll take you to custody. I've got no issues.
Precious isn't precious at all.
So you're Primrose, aren't you? Yeah.
Do you want to take a seat, then I'll tell you the rest.
Okay, that's fine. After a couple of minutes, she was a bit tearful and then she admitted that she was lying. we would have saved all this if you'd have just been up front and done. I knew you weren't. We knew from the start that you weren't. Your stories. Well, at the end of the day, Primrose, I'm not here to cause judgment on you. I'm not here to say that you're a bad lady. I'm not here because, you know, you've got personal problems and things like that. I'm here just because you shouldn't be driving. And that's all I'm dealing with.
But,
all right?
Like I said, you know, no one else could go out.
I understand, but it's going to cost you money now to get back home, because I'm going to have to call you a taxi, aren't I?
It's going to cost her car as well.
I was going to take the car no matter what, but I wanted to know who I was dealing with, because she wasn't insured as being precious. She wasn't insured on the car.
Honesty, ultimately, has proved to be Primrose's best policy. She's going to lose her car because she shouldn't be driving unsupervised on a provisional licence. But if she had carried on with being precious, she would have been done for no insurance as well.
Yeah, maybe I could have ended it a lot quicker, but it was quite a good game, actually. It's a bit like Monopoly, went on and on and on until I actually won.
You guys are...
Right, so what's your name then, sir?
The game with the cyclist, who was on his way home from the pub, ignoring the lights, hasn't yet got a winner.
Give me your full name. Give the details, or you're going to be arrested and spend the evening in the cell until you sober up to the point that you give us your details.
What am I going to be arrested for?
We can't serve a summons, can we? We don't know who you are, we don't know where you live.
Why do you need to give me a summons?
Because you won't accept a fixed penalty ticket at the roadside.
Because I didn't do anything wrong. I went through light as
Excuse me.
I went through light.
Where are the lights on this bike?
Where are the lights on there?
You can't leave a light on bike, so they're nicked, mate.
No, have you got lights on the bike now when you're riding it? No. So don't even go there. You're in the wrong. Just.
But why? Why are you doing this? It's a Saturday night in Brighton, and you're doing this.
Okay, because you're drunk, I will explain it to you.
I'm not drunk, mate.
Yeah, you are drunk.
Don't patronise me.
You are drunk.
Why are you doing this? I know what goes on in Brighton, and what are you doing?
It's called road safety.
No,
it's preventing a crash.
That time of night, there wasn't a lot of pedestrians around. However, he was a danger to himself. That's really what we're there for, is to stop people being injured and killed on our roads.
Is it? And they unclip off the road. Excuse me for a second.
Curiously, someone else hasn't bothered with lights either.
Don't go away.
Just a word of warning for this one, though.
A car is a lot safer to be in. If you're struck in a car, you've got, on modern cars, airbags and what have you. But on a bike, you've got nothing.
If I don't give you my name,
you're going to be arrested.
It's very simple.
Because we cannot serve a summons or issue a fixed penalty ticket because you don't want to accept a fixed penalty ticket. So we can't deal with the matter for which we have stopped you.
Once again, the threat of arrest has done the trick. He's still not accepting a ticket, but he's owned up to who he is.
Right, what's your full name, please?
My name's Richard Hodgson.
We really don't want to take a drunk cyclist into custody for, at the start of it, having no lights on their bike, which is what it boiled down to, the initial reason we were going to speak with him.
I've just cycled through Brighton.
Okay,
I see all
you
sorts of things
clearly
going on
went
that
through a
time.
red light, which
No,
you're
I didn't go
arguing
through a red
about.
light.
You did go through a red
No,
light.
I didn't.
And
Right.
if you go for a red light,
I did
there's a
not
good
go through a
chance
red
you're
light.
going to meet a vehicle coming the other way.
I did not go through a red light.
Right.
Despite his protestation, the cyclist did go through the lights on red. Although when he actually crossed the junction, they had changed to green.
It was one of those situations which was silly and should never have happened. If we'd got his attention before he'd gone through the red light, it would have been, look mate, you've got no lights, get yourself on the pavement and walk it, keep yourself alive. Whereas it never got that opportunity. It was, he'd actually upped the ante straight away by the first comment I think he made to Tony when we were driving past. Oh, you've got something better to do at that time.